Sure, sir. We'll start.
Yeah. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed guests and distinguished colleagues. So I am Narendra Kumar Saranam, convener for IT and Electronics panel for AP, CII AP, and so Executive Director for Epic Solutions Limited. So let us talk about today's event. It is my great pleasure to welcome you today as we delve into the cutting-edge realm of harnessing AI potential for sales and marketing. In an era of defined by rapid technological advancement, businesses are constantly seeking innovative strategies and to stay ahead in the competitive landscape. Today, we gather to explore the transformative power of artificial intelligence and how it is revolutionizing the way we approach sales and marketing. Artificial intelligence or AI has emerged as a game changer in the current business world, particularly in the realms of sales and marketing. Its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, identifying patterns, and make intelligence predictions has opened up new horizons for enhancing customer engagement, streamlining processes, and ultimately driving revenue growth. In the realm of sales, AI has become a formidable ally, providing sales teams with valuable insights into customer behavior and preferences. Through predictive analytics, sales professionals can now anticipate customer needs, personalize interactions, and optimize their strategies for maximum impact. AI-driven tools can automate routine tasks, allowing sales teams or giving them the spare time to focus their energy on building meaningful relationships and closing deals. Likewise, in the dynamic field of marketing, AI is reshaping the way businesses connect with their audiences, from hyper-personalized content recommendations to targeted advertising campaigns. AI empowers marketers to deliver messages that resonate with individual customers. Marketing automation fueled by AI ensures that campaigns are not only more efficient, but also more effective, leading to higher conversion rates and a better return on investment. As we embark on this exploration of AI's potential in sales and marketing, we will hear from experts who have successfully integrated AI into their strategies, unlocking new levels of productivity and innovation. We will also discuss the ethical considerations that come with harnessing such powerful technology, ensuring that as we leverage AI, we do so responsibly and with the utmost consideration for privacy and fairness. So let us embark on this journey together, a journey into the realm of possibilities that AI presents for sales and marketing. As we navigate the landscape of artificial intelligence, may we discover insights that propel our businesses forward and inspire us to embrace the future with open minds and boundless enthusiasm. So I would like to mention a few words about today's speaker. Mr. Swaminathan is our guest speaker today. Mr. N. Swaminathan is a strategic management and digital transformation consultant. He has over 34 years of experience in the field serving various customers across the world. He is an MBA from IIM Calcutta and BTech from PSG College, Coimbatore. His corporate stint includes NIT, Capgemini, Motorola, and HCL, and roles covers from pre-sales, transition to delivery in India and Europe. In his last corporate stint, he spent more than 17 years with HCL Technologies, Financial Services Division, India, UK, Europe, where he was responsible for creating a solutioning practice in the financial services vertical, setting up a regional delivery unit in London, and driving key strategic initiatives from solutioning to delivery. He won the CEO Championship Award in 2014. He has published a Blue Book on IT portfolio optimization is used by the organization in assessing the health of any IT landscape. His passion includes teaching and mentoring engineering, MBA students, working with institutes on curriculum design and programs, and delivering guest lectures. He is currently a visiting faculty at Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, Chennai. So let us hear from Mr. Swaminathan. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for enabling this meeting. It is of interest to me in two ways. One is I'm talking to a set of industry professionals in CII, which is good because you people are actually sitting there seeing what is possible or not. The second is interaction on a topic which is very, very dear to me because I have been doing this transformation digital AI for the last 10 years, especially focusing on different companies, how to increase, right? So thank you, Mr. Narendra Kumar, sir, and all the dignitaries of CII, Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada. Thank you for this opportunity to share some of the experiences. So the way I will do is I'll give you some theoretical framework also because that is important. But I will wherever I speak, I will try to give you more and more examples from what I have seen, and most importantly, examples which have failed also because you have to know why they have failed. It's equally important to appreciate it. I will try to take about an hour if that is okay with all of you. I'm right now based in London. So we started at 10:30, so that is 4 o'clock your time. So by 11:30 here, I will try to finish and take up any questions. I am also available on LinkedIn and other media. You can also feel free to interact with me. I will leave my the details with Narendra sir. Feel free to reach out. Let me share my screen. Let me know whether you can see it, please. Sir, you have to give me permission. Yeah, you have to give me permission to share screen.
Yeah. Chandan, can you give him the privileges? Chandan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. So I'm just calling Kader. Kader has the access.
Okay.
Give me a moment, sir.
Yeah, no problem. You can see the screen, sir, now, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can see the screen.
Is it full? Is it clear? Okay. Yeah. There is no distraction on the screen, right? You can see the full slide. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we are starting now. See, in my eagerness, I have tried to pack a lot of information. So please kindly bear with me. I may not be able to cover everything. It's a very, very vast subject. But I hope at the end of the lecture, I have enabled you to see the potential and the art of the possible and how to make sure it is converted into a reality. Okay, that is the main thing for me. So let's start. So we will do it in three parts. The first, I will try to explain some of the what is the parts of the artificial intelligence which are very important for us in this lecture, right? I'm not going to be too technical. For me, I am a solidly grounded technical and business function, but you need to know some of the terms so that we can understand the discussion better. That's all. The second is I'm going to take up the sales and marketing landscape, look at what are the various function, which function we can look at more potential for using AI. The third is the most important. Everything is okay, but how do you really go about it on the ground? Okay, that's what we will do. So we'll start with the part one now. The main thing, I am starting with this, what is called hype cycle. Okay, for every technology, there is something called a hype cycle. This is usually published by one of the consulting agents called a Gartner, right? They publish. What the hype cycle tells you is every technology starts small. Suddenly, there is a lot of interest. You can see the curve actually peaking. You can see the curve here actually peaking and going, and then actually coming down again, and then plateauing it out. So what we call this peak, we call it peak of inflated expectation. That means there is an undue hype about it, right? Oh, people think that the whole artificial intelligence is going to come and change the world, right? Then what happens? People start using and then realize that everything, whatever they said, is not true. So they get disillusioned. And afterwards, more realistic applications come where you can look at and say, this is the realistic expectation, what I can do. This is a type of improvement, what is possible, right? And it plateaus. So we are now in this stage, actually, you can see, which means there's a lot of hype which has been around. A lot of tools have come out, but there are now people are realizing slowly where they can use it and in terms of the gain, what is really possible to achieve, right? This is important to set the context. We don't worry about what is written on the slide, but this is very important so that we are actually on the ground. Whenever we do any of these technologies, our feet have to be firmly on the ground. Okay, not get carried away by, oh my God, I can get 40 to 50% saving. We have to see that, right? That's the context of this. Now, I want to distinguish between two things. One is what we call the AI. In the AI, there are two categories. One is called the normal AI, the discriminative AI, what we call, or the generative AI, right? You might have come across these terms. I just wanted to give you some points about it so we can appreciate some of the discussions better. The normal, in terms of the primary function, the normal AI is used for classification, right? For example, you give an image to the program. It says, okay, is it a car or it is a horse? Simple, right? Okay. That is called a classification. Or it will predict, okay? If a new customer walks into a store, what is the level of buying he can do? Some sort of prediction. But generative AI is not looking only at the data. It is able to create data. It is able to learn so much. It's able to create new data. So generative AI is about unlabeled data. That means it doesn't wait for any inputs, but it's able to predict. Okay. So learning approaches, the normal AI learns based on what you have given. The generative AI learns based on new things. It's able to create a new distribution of the data. So naturally, the complexity is generative AI requires a deep understanding. Where is the usage of generative AI? Why am I talking about this, right? When you might be getting a lot of emails, right? Take any Gmail, anything, right? There is an algorithm which is deployed. It actually says whether the email is a spam or not, right? And it is possible that some of the normal emails also go to the spam. So this is done by the normal AI. In terms of discriminative or in terms of generative AI, we are talking about text to image generation. Given a text, how do you generate? How do we look at music? How do we look at videos? How do we create new content? Okay, which actually specifically tailored for a customer. This is the uses of generative AI. So when we look at the tools later, we will be looking at predominantly generative AI plus some normal discriminative AI tools. Keep this context in mind, then we go back. Now, if you look at the sales and distribution, my topic is I can talk about application of AI in any parts of the organization because I have done operations, I have done finance, I have done sales. But in this lecture, I will give you more use cases or examples from sales and marketing. So if you look at sales and marketing, normally I view it very horizontally in terms of meeting the customers. I have just put shoppers here, meeting the customers. Driving the awareness, the standard process of a customer. Basically, you start as a prospect and it becomes a customer eventually, right? It doesn't matter what you market. I'm not worried about whether you are marketing or selling product or services. I'm just giving the concept here, right? Then you realize the revenue, you actually convert him, you generate lead, you convert the prospect into a full-fledged customer. You make sure that he buys the product or services, or he buys a repeat customer, becomes a repeat customer. You realize the revenue, but ensure you drive a customer service. Basically, this is a customer journey. In the world of IT, in the world of technology, there is also a specific term for it called a persona, right? You are imagining customer as a persona and thinking about to really go about it. Okay. So this is a typical sales and marketing landscape. In terms of generative AI, where do I see some of the examples in sales and marketing? We are talking about content generation, SEO, search engine optimization, image, video related aspects, right? Personalization. Okay, we will talk about it later. Marketing segmentation. How do you segment the customers? Why do we have to segment the customers? Because so that we understand for each segment, what is the need, what is the buying behavior, how long they take to come before a buying decision, what sort of products or offerings are very specifically suited for that, right? So when you start really segmenting or hyper segmenting, you get better ideas and insights about the customer. You can decide later based on that, I'm not going to service these customers. That's okay. But it helps you to come to the decision. Customer support, how quickly you can handle the customer support. How do you distinguish between normal queries in the support from other queries which require a very, very manual interaction? Marketing and the buyer personas. These are all important. If you look at the high impact areas, which are the areas in sales and marketing that where actually we can see the impact of AI, right? Not all areas. First thing I want to tell you, not all areas. There are specific areas which we should look at it. And there also we should have a realistic expectation. To me, the couple of important things I want to share with you. Lead identification of leads or mining of leads or prospects. This is very, very important. Personalized outreach. We talked about segmenting the customer. Imagine you have the power to create a new product for a specific customer, right? That is personalized recommendation. Dynamic content. Today's websites, if you look at, they are not static. Okay, they are totally dynamic. It incorporates what the organization does, how the material and the updates change. So the websites are so dynamic and it is very personalized to an individual. Cross-selling, upselling, in terms of analytics, dynamic customer journey mapping. How do you map the customer journey, customer value chain from the prospect till a customer? And not only that, once a customer, how do you make him a repeat customer? And the type of analytics, etc. Right? So these are some of the top 5 to 10 areas which I've seen where the AI has seen some of the benefits. discussion. What are the type of benefits you can look at? The broad benefits I am given here, improving in terms of efficiency, it's about 20%, right? Improving broadly. See, these numbers are serving as some sort of a yardstick for you. Eliminating time-consuming administrative and repetitive tasks. You can talk about automating some of them to the extent of 30%. Enabling accurate sales planning and prediction or forecasting, improve the accuracy of the forecast. See, today, the accuracy, for example, when the chief marketing officer gets up in a call and says, my sales projection for the next 2 quarters are so much, people expect them to understand and stick to the number, okay? So that's important, how you can actually manage the accuracy and the job satisfaction within the people who are actually involved in sales and marketing. Now, there are 5 different, I talked about artificial intelligence. I talked about what are the areas that actually lend themselves to the usage of AI. In terms of usage, there are 5 ways you can think about how to use it. First is data enrichment. That means, how do we get the data? How do we get data which are lying in multiple ways, multiple sources, and how do we integrate? Then enablement. How do we really look at automating? Okay. Or enabling somebody to do a job slightly on the higher value chain, right? Imagine there is a salesperson. His primary job is used to taking the order. Now imagine you are shifting it slightly. So the taking the order comes down, but building the relationship with the customer is more important. So the job content changes. But how will it change? Unless you enable him. You need to give a technology-based solution for him to enable that. Conversation intelligence, right? How do we analyze the sales calls? What decisions you can make based on the sales call? Forecasting, then streamlining a sales and marketing process, optimization. These are all 5 ways where you can touch any of the function of sales and marketing to see what type of benefits you can get. Some 2-3 use cases which I have seen very, very well, I want to share with you. Take Amazon's personalized recommendation, right? It employs artificial intelligence for recommending. So it looks at all your browsing history, it looks at the purchase pattern, it looks at the ratings, then it gives you how does it change? You see the website of Amazon when you go and buy, you see the related products coming up and other thing. And it all seems to be very close to your heart, right? How does it decide? It has a powerful AI recommendation engine. Similarly, Salesforce uses a product called Einstein, which is an artificial intelligence. It is integrated into their customer relationship software. So it is able to score the leads, the potential leads, and say, the pipeline of leads is about 100 leads you have generated in the last 1 month. About 20% of them have the potential to become customers. You can follow this path. It gives a strategy based on the segmenting the prospects. Spotify, you know, the music streaming. It looks at the listening habits, the preferences of the user, the behavior, at what point of time they listen to the music, and it creates a whole recommendation system. Oh, you might be interested in this, you might be interested in this type of music, etc. It's not a simple thing, right? What you see is a result of a lot of data analytics which are running in the background, and they get translated as a very, very specific pattern for the customer, right? This is all the 3 use cases for. Now let's look at some of the use cases down home. Yeah, Flipkart is using very, very effective AI user is Flipkart. The algorithms analyze the customer behavior, helps eventually in the shopping experience. When I talk about the shopping experience, you should think about a person who can start a transaction on one particular device and complete the transaction in another device. Think about it, right? For example, you are walking in a mall, and there is a financial advisor who is close to you. He is coming and saying, there is a fantastic mortgage opportunity. I know that you are constructing a house, your mortgage opportunity. Why don't you start the process? So you just curious, look at the application, you start, but after that, you get distracted because you have some other work and you gone away. After 2-3 days, you are now, remember, at the time you logged into an iPad. Now you come home, you want to resume the transaction. So you're opening your laptop and starting the transaction again. Believe me, the interface is the same. The experience is the same. You are able to continue seamlessly from where you left off. It's as if You have just started the transaction with all the data remaining. Now imagine after laptop, after some pages of filling the data, you have closed it, went off. Again, after 2-3 days, you are picking it up over a call with a chatbot in the site of the customer. You are able to continue because the chatbot has gathered all the data already. So you are continuing the transaction. So seamless experience across. HDFC Bank is one of the fantastic chatbots I have seen, and the EVA is able to resolve 95% of the queries very, very effectively. There are many chatbots where you get really bored, right? That depends on the way the algorithm works, depends on the way the power of the analytics is there. EVA is a chatbot which works beautifully. Tata Motors is using for predictive maintenance alert, personalized marketing campaign, in terms of customer preferences. These are all people, companies which have actually thought about way to use AI, trying to use AI and set the expectation. Yeah, this is the potential, I can do it. Okay. Now, if you look at, or see, the next question comes is, can anybody get up and say, okay, I'm quite interested in using AI. Can I just apply AI in sales and marketing in my company? For this, we have to slightly go back and look at, if you look at some of the companies I've given you example, or even the examples may be from large. It doesn't matter whether it is a large or small company. If you observe a company which has successfully implemented AI, what characteristics do you see? What is the takeaway from us, right? I give you a couple of things. It is not about getting better. It is doing something radically different. For example, let's say today you have sales, you have 50 people working in sales. You are able to do some improvement, and out of the 50, now it becomes 45. This is not really application of AI. Okay. We are talking about using AI to come out with something substantial. Okay. And the entire customer value chain is improved. That means any point, any touch point of the customer with the organization, starting from a prospect till he is a customer, service, repeat customer, etc. Any point. Usually, AI, you can address these multiple points. End of the day, the customer experience of using the company's websites or any digital channel is improved. We are talking, CX stands for customer experience. Naturally, none of these companies have succeeded by setting up a simple analysis. They have extensively invested in the analytics. Okay. Without that, you are not able to come to a decision about what exactly to do for this customer, what product to offer for this customer, right? And more importantly, the investment is able to scale up. For example, as a company, tomorrow, you are coming out with new products, new variants, you are entering new markets, your customer size improves. Can the solution, what you have designed, keeping in mind for 500 customers, will it work when your customer number goes up to 5,000? That's a question you have to ask, because no point in investing in AI, which can only give a limited value. You have to ensure that I can scale it up. And most of these initiatives of AI come under what I call digital transformation. Digital transformation can be done even without AI. But AI, whatever you do, implement, comes as part of the digital transformation. You have to remember the organization works as an interconnected entity. It is, even if you attach only the sales and marketing, remember, you cannot use a silo approach. Silo meaning you cannot look at only the sales and marketing aspect. You need to ensure the remaining IT, technology, finance, to the extent they are interconnected, and then implement the initiative. So your implementation within sales and marketing will require changes to the rest of the functions and departments. If you have to keep in mind, this is not a local initiative, right? And this will require a lot of employee participation. See, most of the organization we have seen are used to telling the employees what to do, or giving a communication, or attending a town hall, once a quarter meeting, right? Or an email communication. But today, you need the employees to be on your side. You might have to tell them why we are doing certain things. As a result of that, how their job will change. I'm going to support you here. Don't get worried. Okay, you might be doing something different. What you are doing today may not be very relevant in 2 years. Your job content will change 50% of the time. But this is how it is going to do. I'm going to walk with you. That type of thing is very, very cheap. So I hope this has given you an idea But what type of organizations we are talking about? This is nothing to do with the size. This is to do with, do you have the mentality of a startup? You might have a big company. Are you able to think like a startup? Are you able to be agile? Okay. This is part one, where we just covered the basic concept. I'm going to take you slightly into sales and marketing areas. Okay. Now, if I break down into sales, okay, I'm listing some couple of areas here which are very, very important, which have the highest potential for AI to succeed. Lead scoring, okay, forecasting, we talked about. Today, earlier, till 5 years back, when a chief marketing officer gets up and says, let's say he gets up and says, next quarter, we are planning, our revenue is likely to be, let's say, 1.2 million. Okay. Now, if the company makes 1.4 million, you might be wondering, oh my God, he has done actually very good performance, right? Because he forecasted only 1.2, but he able to generate 1.4 million. But that's not the case today. First thing is, it doesn't matter whether you have done more or less. To what? See, we are asking you to predict for the next quarter. You can be off the mark when I'm talking you to predict about the next year. But next quarter, your systems, data, technology, and your understanding of the customer should be such that you can give 100% prediction. When you say 1.2 million, you cannot go wrong with 1.4 million for the next quarter. But so people punish the companies which are not able to predict very well. It doesn't matter whether you have done more than the prediction. That comes later. So getting a grip on the sales, because your entire manufacturing or getting the products into your warehouse depends on this. You don't want to run out of a stock out situation. CRM touches the customer. So that's an ideal area where you can experience the benefit of AI. Personalized recommendation. I want to give an example here, personalized. I will take a very, very simple example. So there is a grocery chain here in UK called Tesco. And incidentally, Tesco's back office operations and the entire data analytics is being done in Bangalore. Okay. And Tesco's data science department is regarded as one of the top 10 in the world. Now, Tesco, remember, it's like a grocery store, right? You can go and buy milk, curd here and other things. So it has a loyalty card. So whenever you buy, it's like a loyalty card, right? But so whenever you buy some of the groceries, when you are checking it out, you can tap your number so that it gets added. It's like a credit card reward point. Okay. So you can make use of it. Now, once I was walking into the Tesco here, and as soon as I got in, I got an alert saying that I used to buy a specific yogurt, curd, right? Its brand is called Onken. So I got a message that Swaminathan, today there is a 50% discount for Onken yogurt. Onken is a brand name, yogurt. Now, I was very curious. As soon as I walked into the store, I got it. Okay. Then I went to that section where they keep all the yogurt. I could see Onken. 1 kilo was about 3 pounds. Okay. Now, there is no discount written there. You mean normally they put a price label, right? There is no discount there. So I was really curious. How come there is no price discount? It is almost the same price as I saw last week. So maybe they made a mistake. So I took 1 kg yogurt and went to the checkout counter. I asked them, what is the price of this? And they said they just scanned it and said it's 3 pounds. But I got a message like this saying I got a 50% discount on you. Oh, then they scanned my loyalty card and said, yes, sir, there is a discount. I said, this discount is applicable to everybody? No. This discount is applicable to me as a Swaminathan, as a customer, right? Second, the discount is applicable to me only on this day. Third, this discount is applicable to me only on today, only on that yogurt brand. Now, I looked at my friend who came with me. He didn't get a message like that. So what do you infer from this? Tesco, in view of the data, whatever they have collected, they are able to send very, very personalized message for a customer. So for them, I am one of the million customers, but they are able to give me an offer only for me. Right? They can give the same offer to another person. I don't care. but they are able to create a recommendation for me. This is called personalized recommendation. Another example, you walk into a bank, let's say there is a newly married couple, they're planning to buy, let's say, a house, and they say that, what are the interest rate possible? What are the plans you have, mortgage plans? They will say housing loan, there are only two variants possible. There is a fixed rate, there is a floating rate, right? But they say that, sir, next to 2 to 3 years, I can be able to give you more EMI payments, but after 2-3 years, we are planning for some specific studies I don't want to give. Then there again, a 6th year, 7th year, I can give more. Unfortunately, they do not have a product which will support this type of planning from this couple. They are very specific requirement. Imagine the technology and artificial intelligence allows you to create a product, a new product mortgage only for those couple, taking into account their ability to repay, their ability to get the funds in for subsequent years, their ability to spend the EMI on subsequent years. This is very, very unique, isn't it? That is a personalized recommendation. The power is phenomenal. That means you understand the customer so well. Automated interaction is very important. How you interact with the customers in any part of the sales cycle, from the prospect or till he becomes a customer, or he becomes a customer and he has a queries on the usage of the product. Price optimization. There are many companies which specialize in dynamic pricing, right? How do you actually alter the price? See, another example. See, I try to give you a lot of examples so you understand what I'm talking about. See, in India, driving, if you want to take out an insurance for your car, it is fixed, right? If you give the car model and the year in which the model came out and how old is the car today, there is a standard table, correct? Let's take Toyota Innova, let's say 2011 make. So it is about 12 years old. This is IDV, insured declared value. So the premium is fixed. Whether Swaminathan does it or Mr. Narendra sir does it, the premium is fixed because it's based on. In most of the Western abroad countries, the premium is not fixed. The premium is based on how old you are, what sort of driver you are, what is your driving habit, where do you live, etc. Which means the same car model, same make, the insurance premium I get is very different from what my neighbor gets. How is this possible? There is a company called Clary, which actually installs a small device on your steering of the car. It records the patterns of your driving, how well you brake, how do you use your clutch, everything. And you don't have to pay anything. This automatically gives this data to the insurance company. Insurance companies has an AI analyzing algorithm. It analyzes and concludes, this customer, oh my God, he has been driving fabulously well. This is not about getting into accident. This is a way you drive. Okay, sir, you started us with a premium of, let's say, 500 pounds this year. We are very glad after 6 months to see your driving behavior is excellent. We are glad to offer a 25% discount immediately for this customer, right? This is the power of AI in terms of what you can do. So you can create a new variant of a product. You can create a very unique product for a customer. And you take the entire sales process, right, which involves reaching out to customers, working out with other consulting, external consultant, organizers, marketing roadshows, anything, right? This entire process, to a large extent, you can streamline. And the ultimate power lies in the prediction. So the prediction can be, is the prospect likely to become a customer? How soon he will become a customer? If it is a customer, what will be the initial purchase value? What will be the customer lifetime value? Given these habits, is he likely to become a repeat customer? All these questions, we can try to get some answers. And once you have an answer, you can decide how much time you want to spend with the customer. And is there any further activity we need to do so that he stays as a customer, right? Very important insights. Similarly, if you look at the marketing, we are talking about content creation. Marketing is about setting up the base groundwork, right? So that your product, your service remains in the limelight, and the salespeople go to the field or go and talk to the customer, they have all the information. You're able to create content. You have to look at content creation. Segmenting the customer, we talked about. There is a specific term called hyper segmenting. That means traditionally, if you look at customers, 2 to 3 categories they will make. That means They will be able to have 2 to 3 strategies, one strategy for each group of the customer. Hyper segmenting, meaning you can segment at any level and decide which segment you want to service, and if you want to service, what extent you want to do it. Titan is a classic case where they have hyper segmented into about 15 different type of customers, and each one they have a method of providing service, right? How is this made possible? Because of use of AI in that function. They are able to analyze on an average how much time a customer spends. Does he come with his spouse or not? What are the expectations? What is the average purchase value? What is the time taken before they actually come back with a decision? Their entire strategy, showroom experience is designed based on the hyper segmentation. Chatbots, today chatbots have become inevitable. We talked about how HDFC Bank uses EVA as a chatbot, right? How there a lot of chatbots, right? But how effective is a chatbot? Is it actually resulted in some saving in the process so that you focus on the right customers and the right queries, right? Email automation, email sending it to customers so that, and as well as the dynamic website updation can be done. Search engine optimization is a phenomenal topic today. Okay. How do you enable your product service stands out? They are able to get within the top 3 searches so that it stays in the sight of the customer. Sentiment analysis of the customer, right? How do you make sense of all the data that is coming from Twitter, LinkedIn, and other things? And to what extent it matters? Just because somebody has a data, does it matter? And even if somebody has a data, what do you make out of it? Does it point to something? From the way your Twitter has, let's say there is a person who has posted, he has taken one of your, let's say, a device, electronic device, and used it, and he's not very happy with it. He has put it in a Twitter saying that I'm absolutely not at all able to find all the uses for which I am sold. Now, from this sentence, how do you make use that person is actually dissatisfied? And do you want to reach out to him, find out why? These are all power of the technology AI, which will help you to do this, right? To me, these are all 10 to 15 very, very good areas which you can target. But remember, I am giving my experience of working with the multiple companies in this. To what extent this will work, we have to take a further analysis for your company, right? Now, any technology, any artificial intelligence adoption cannot work without the right tools. Okay. I'm not talking of the normal tools like Microsoft Excel and other things. They are not the tools I'm talking. Give me a minute. Yeah. The tools I'm talking is about the one which will help you to do the different functions I talked about. I talked about analytics. I talked about campaign. But what are the tools? Remember, there is no one tool. In the earlier days, I'm sure most of you who are from the industry would already have an experience implementing an ERP, right? Or a CRM, enterprise resource planning software. Example is SAP. Example is Oracle, MS Dynamics, NetSuite, anything, right? Zoho CRM, you take. You would have got experience of implementing an ERP or a supply chain management. I'm not talking of that. Usually, if you buy one of the supply chain management, it takes care of almost all the functions of supply chain management. But unfortunately, in the field of AI, there is nothing called one tool. That is why it is important to look at what areas you can do and look at those tools which are relevant for it. Here, see, I don't want this lecture to be a complete a recommendation of the tools, but I want to give you what are the tools I have worked with, what you can find, and take some lessons from it, right? For example, lead scoring, HubSpot actually is one of the fantastic tools. It helps you actually. This based on their likelihood, it calculates their probability statistics based on the pattern, and it gives you an idea. A lot of companies have used HubSpot very effectively. Sales forecasting, I'm just giving an example of a Zoho CRM. There is a special module which is called predictive analytics, which you can sit on top of it. So you have an option in this case to buy from established players or go for a separate tool. Campaign relationship management, Salesforce, I told you about Einstein. It integrates this entire intelligence into the normal CRM for insights on customer behavior. Remember, customer behavior doesn't happen at one particular point. As I said, from the prospect till he's a customer as well as a repeat customer. There are multiple points of interaction, and the interaction can occur through multiple digital channels. So the system should be able to capture all this information, analyzes what sort of customer he is, so that you can decide what to do with it, right? Email automation, I have come across Outreach as one of the fabulous tools which will help you to do email automation. Personalized recommendation, we talked about. Drift is a tool. It predicts real-time product recommendation during customer interaction, and you can actually catalog, or you can create a specific sub-catalog of your services aimed at the person. Gong is helps you to do the sales process optimization. It takes care of sales calls, meetings, records. In fact, it takes away all those tasks away from the salesperson and simplifies it, so that the salesperson can have a real meaningful conversation with the customer. Asian Paints is a company which has very, very successfully done this. Okay. Clary is a predictive analytics which you can use for any customer insights. Persado is a tool which helps you to create a content. This is a content meaning not a one-shop mailer. Again, very, very personalized emailer to multiple customers or multiple customers in different segments. And the price optimization. How do we talked about dynamic pricing. One of the classic examples is a train fare price abroad. See, in India, we have the Tatkal and the non-Tatkal, right? There are only, if you want to take a train, there are only two variants roughly. Okay. Abroad, it's like airplane pricing. One of the, as a humorously, we always say nobody understands how the airplane pricing works. It is definitely not based on the distance. You might have seen. When I used to live in Singapore, the flight from Singapore to Chennai, which is about 3 hours, used to cost a double of what is Singapore to Sydney, which is 8 hours. Okay. Now, airplane pricing, there is no one ticket. You go to a website of any airplane, they give you a rough indication once you fix a date. But can you find out what is the cost for a normal, let's say Bangalore to, let's say Dubai? There is no one fixed cost, right? It varies. The ability to vary depends on a lot of factors, what you want to fill up. There is a dynamic price optimization tool, you can use it. Customer segmentation, there is another tool called Sensite. It segments customers from targeted marketing, takes it away and say, these are the customers, it's worth the targeting. So go for it, spend more time on them till you come to a decision, right? Campaign optimization, there is something called Optimizely, which helps. Social media monitoring, we talked about sentiment analysis. How do you monitor and how do you take decisions based on that? So you require a lot of hyper technology enabled tools to make sense out of the textual data that is being given in the social media. Then you have SEO. There is a special tool called SEMrush, which offers keyword search, content optimization, etc., so that your website is always in the top 3. What else? And it's not a one-time job. You need to continuously retweak it at a periodic intervals, right? Bandwatch is a sentiment analysis tool. Any online conversation, it monitors with respect to your customers and can make sense if the customer is happy or disgusted, or if he's happy, what is his level of happiness, what further action we can do. So you can see today the number of tools is becoming exploding. So you have to be really, when you are investing in a tool, you need to ensure it is the right tool. It will create the right business case for you, and ensure as you increase into your markets and customers, the tool also can scale up with you. What is the point in buying a tool? Let's say after you reach, let's say 1,000 customers, this tool breaks down. It's not able to do. You don't want to invest in a tool, do you? So you have to look at that. When you deploy these metrics, you need to look at how do you measure these tools? How do you measure the impact of the artificial intelligence on your sales and marketing function? There are metrics for it, right? What type of metrics? You have to look at, you have to write the metrics up front before you do the investment. This metric should be part of your business case, okay? Which means even any investment into AI, any investment into the tool must be backed with a proper financial decision. Example, lead generation. You should look at number of leads generated, leads to opportunity conversion. What is the cost of a per lead? What is the cost of generating a lead? Customer relationship. What is a customer lifetime value? What is a net promoter score? What is a customer retention rate, right? Content marketing. What is a website traffic I'm able to generate? What is a lead generation from the content? Not lead generation by different means, right? Social media, what is the engagement metric? How many likes, dislikes, right? Conversion rates from social channel. What if a prospect starts from a social media channel, becomes a customer, right? Your system should be able to handle that. Service chatbots, what is the resolution time? What type of queries you are able to resolve? Okay. So yeah, there are a number of metrics, which I have given specifically some metrics for you, because without defining the metrics, without defining the target state, you cannot embark on this journey. There is one particular customer personas we talked about. A persona is a fictional representation of your customer as he, from the prospect till he becomes a customer, right? How does he do it? How does he go? What are the touch points? And how does he interact? Why is this important? Because this, you can decide, you will be able to get your audience insights, collaboration of the team. It's basically nothing but the voice of the customer, right? As simple as that. This is earlier we used to fill up something called a customer feedback form. Today, who fills up the feedback form? Who has time? You need to find a way to infer. So when you create a traditional persona, usually your sales and marketing team will create. Most of the problems, what I have seen is their online behavior is not accounted. Okay. Updating personas become expensive because most of the time people do it once. After 2-3 years, they don't even look at it. That means by the time the customer behavior pattern has changed, the purchasing pattern has changed. The type of customer also has evolved. So the effectiveness of the persona depends on the process. There is also a lot of guesswork involved in it because it's not backed with the customer research. Artificial intelligence helps you to create the personas very well. For example, this is one of my favorite use case. If you look at Netflix analyzed that on average, a customer is able to spend 60 to 90 seconds on choosing the movies or a TV series to watch. And within 90 seconds, if he is not able to find, he will leave the site. Question is, what can you do in the 90 seconds, right? Now, this is where the persona, the understanding of the customer helps. Based on the previous interest, and the recommendation engine can create a pool of options. I hope many of you are Netflix users. Have you seen the way the classification of the movies, series continuously changes, and what your interest based on whatever you have, not only whatever you have seen, for what are the type of thing you have actually clicked but not seen. It takes into account all these things and dynamically changes, right? It is dynamic. It's dynamic because the frame is not fixed. So Netflix is able to generate within 90 seconds what they can do. That is the power of AI here, right? Imagine. So, and unless you have the technology that you can do, you can't dream of it. Can you think about the situation? Hello, Mr. Customer, can you please wait while I go and do research back home and come back to you? Do you think he will wait? In this case, it's only 90 seconds. He loses interest. He goes into something else. So that is, so AI can help in personas. Similarly, I'm just skipping some slides in view of the time. Take a search engine optimization, right? Today, this has become key. I'm sure some of you would have seen a specific job postings looking for SEO people. Most organizations today have SEO people specifically. So you have to focus on the keyword, on-page search engine, off-page. After that, content creation, dynamic content creation, and technical expertise to measure the components of your website. For example, like any metric I gave you, you have to talk about crawlability, mobile friendliness. There are some, I'm sure you would have come across some websites which do not work very well with the mobile, but for that you have to go to the laptop or a computer again. How horrifying it is, right? You don't want to waste time. So it should appear as if it is built for mobile. It's built for iPad, different devices. It should be able to take the characteristic. So search engine optimization is another potential area which AI has successfully given a lot of benefits. I've just taken two examples. One is search engine optimization. One is the personas, which help you to delve into customer pattern. Okay. Now, if you look at the marketing material, that has evolved as well, right? Look at the traditional material. We used to go with the business card, brochures, posters. Now, if you drop a brochure, what is the probability the customer will read or a prospective will read the brochure? You are talking about modern, which is not only website. The website, you have to read it as a dynamic website, email campaign with specific mailers for people, social media, webinars, ebooks. And we are looking at a hybrid now, QR code, digital signage, augmented reality of giving. So today, If you want to buying a car or buying anything, without going into the showroom, you can get a complete picture by using augmented reality. So it's almost like taking a test drive, right? Podcast. There are frequent podcasts which talk to the user community. There are products which develop the user community for products or variants and encourage users to share experiences and give suggestion. In fact, the companies take these suggestion to implement some of them in the next variant, right? It serves multiple purpose. It brings the users together. So for a user or for a customer, it is an opportunity to talk to a fellow customer before buying a decision, or after buying a decision, how to ensure we get the best out of the product or service. For the company, it is a form to understand how the customers are, what sort of customers, what type of queries they are talking about, where is our product or service going wrong. Imagine the power you are able to get and to tweak into your system. And now I'm going to part 3. So Narendra sir, is it okay if I take 10 minutes for this session? Because we are at 5 o'clock. I hope it is okay with all of you, right? Right. I'm assuming all of you are okay. I'm going to take 10 more minutes on this. So
that's fine, sir. You can go ahead another 10 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Sure.
I just wanted the reassurance because I don't want to take your time for granted. I know we started late. Okay.
We'll cut down the question and answer Q&A session.
Yeah. Just I will take 10 minutes. Okay. So just to give you, so far I have given you first on some technological terms to understand this discussion. Second, I hopefully opened your eyes to which all areas in sales and marketing AI can impact better, right? But if you decide, okay, oh my God, this looks very promising, I want to introduce the organization, how will you go about it? So what I call this is a digital transformation. And what are the components of it? This is a component. Technology is one component. Okay, multiple channels through which you interact with the customer or get orders or release product. The process, the sales and marketing, data, customer experience, EX stands for employee experience, and the change. These are all typical components of a AI adoption. Now, the 3 most important components are, first is a cultural shift, which is about I talked about this you need to have the employees, sales and marketing employees, and the employees who are contributing to the function on your side. You need a cultural change. The people should not be afraid to experiment and fail fast. Today's mantra is fail fast. Failure is okay, but provided you fail fast, which means your organization can be very big, but you should have the ability to think like a startup and make decision and move quickly. Organization has to be agile. You cannot say, okay, sir, please give me a recommendation. I will take it to the committee and then I will come back after 3 months. After 3 months, the customer who existed 3 months before is no longer even existing today. That is the rapidity with which the technology is changing, customer is changing, and the buying pattern. So you need an agile organization. Start with your employees. Second, process. You need to look at process as it is, how you are doing it today. There is a tremendous scope for optimization. Finally, the business technology should be integrated. What do I mean by that? This is what I said. Even if you're implementing a transformation in sales and marketing, it will involve people from other departments. What we call today, it is just not that no initiative starts and stops within a particular walls of a department. You need to address sales and marketing. You need to link it with your manufacturing system so that you take any feedback and decide. Similarly, your supplier ecosystem should be better so that you can predict on the right lead time for the material and be in a position to answer a customer query. So, and the finance decision. So all these have to be integrated. The business and technology today are coming much closer. There are a lot of business people, sales and marketing specialists who sit with the IT and the technology AI team to design the projects, and vice versa, and the IT people coming into this. So this is a very important, your organization should be flexible enough to approach. You cannot create artificial Chinese wall saying, this is your department, don't step out of it. That type of approach doesn't work. So these are 3 things we need to focus on this. So this is a framework which I normally use. If you look at the bottom, we are talking about digital capabilities, right? This is, you need to have a foundation of the digital capability, right? Then the digital engagement. the engagement with respect to not only your own employees and customers. Then what I divide is a 3x3 grid. Okay. The first one talks about customer experience. The second one talks about the operational process. The third one is about business model. Now, you can look at the technology in terms of substitution of the technology, or extending the technology, or radically reorganizing the technology. Substitution meaning you are dissatisfied with the current technology, you are changing. Second is extending. For example, your product has allowed you to market all your services within India, but you want to go global. Can the same technology and the product support it? This is called scalability. You are using the same technology which you have already invested to reach out to multiple people, multiple units, multiple countries. That will give you extent. The third one is radical, meaning you are changing the way you are thinking, changing the way you are organizing people, changing the way people are buying. By disrupting it, this is going to create much more benefit to you, right? In terms of that. So build the capabilities and look at all these three areas in your sales and marketing. You single initiative may not be able to address everything, but a collection of initiative, so that you move from the current state to the target state. The current state you need to characterize in terms of metrics. Oh, today my sales process, an average conversion time takes so many days. I spend about 10,000 rupees in every lead, whether he becomes a customer or not. Average lifetime value of the customer is this. So you need to quantify the current state. Now you decide what is possible. So you look at specific. I will first do digital literacy of the sales and employees. I will first enable forecasting accuracy to be better. After the forecasting accuracy part is done, then I will go to the next one. So what you do is you come out with a roadmap for your own organization. Thereby, you are also estimating what is a realistic gain I can get, not the hype. A guy who is selling the AI tool will tell you, sir, tomorrow your whole world will change. You will get 40%. That's not the case. What is that 40% for you? Will you be able to get that 40%? You have to ask the tool guy, the guy who sells, where he has realized that 40%. Okay. So you come out with what is called a roadmap. This is the roadmap. So in this roadmap, we are talking about, look at the roadmap. It goes horizontally for 3 years. And every dot, every point here is a program. That means you are moving from customer experience design to customer relationship platform implemented. This is an AA initiative. From this dot to this dot is another initiative. You can see it takes about 2 to 3 years, and you are reaching from current state to the target state. And everything has got a milestone in between. At every point, you need to measure how far I am. Am I able to come to this journey, or the benefits are coming, right? This is important. So you have to build a roadmap in order to implement AI in these functions. Okay. Now, you have to choose. One point I want to address is, when you are implementing this AI in sales and marketing, be aware how the role changes. Okay. There are two things will happen. One, you might require fewer people to do. The people who are doing elsewhere, the way of doing things has changed. An example, if you take a marketing analyst, it changes from manual data to strategic decision making. Now you have to ask the person, is he capable of interpreting the data? Is he able to deal with the output of the data? Right? Similarly, a sales representative, he spends more time in the routine inquiries, answering a customer to lead qualification. Now he will focus on building relationship, because you are going to empower a salesperson, let's say, with a device. The device contains all the information, and the customers who want to order can use any of the channel. That way, the salesperson time becomes less in taking order than in building relationship. So your salespeople should be able to adapt to this type of role. Content marketer, creating content is now less than actually managing and optimizing content. You see how it changes, right? You have to be aware how each person's role gets changed, and either by training or by their interest or by enabling them to give using the tools, you should ensure they are interested in this job. They continue to do this, but they continue to get the best benefits by changing and adapting to this. So this is one key area I wanted you to focus on this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Swaminathan. What we do is, where people are having many questions.
Right.
So yes, it's a wonderful session so far, and we could able to hear a lot of use cases, right from Amazon, Flipkart, and till Tata and insurance, etc. So I would like to brief you about the background of the members in our region. In fact, most of the members are from manufacturing, trading kind of a members, where they have data in bits and pieces, including me. And how easily can AI solution be integrated into existing sales and marketing systems of this kind of an industry? And what kind of a roadblocks which they can face while implementing this?
Yes. Okay. Very good question, because I have just landed on the same slide why it fails. Okay. Now, to answer the question, if you do not have the right data and the technological maturity, you cannot adopt AI and hope to get the best benefit, right? Because you will spend more time in correcting the status quo than aiming for something new, correct? So first thing is, ensure your data technological maturity is reasonably high. What do I mean by that? That means your data, you should be able to know that all the data generated from your own existing systems, you have a grip on it. You know what type of data, you know when it is generated, you know how frequently it is updated, right? Similarly, technology. What is the systems you have already invested? For example, are you running already an ERP system or a supply chain management system or a CRM? If you have, once you get a grip on it, then you can think about how we can adopt it in the sales and marketing. If you have a grip, adopting is not very difficult. But remember, it is a journey, which means you cannot hope to get the benefit just like that. The typical roadblocks are this, sir, for all of you. Very, very, very poorly defined KPI metrics. That means, sir, my competitor has gone into artificial intelligence, so I want to go. Please don't adopt this approach. What has worked for you may not work for us. And in order for the thing to work, you have to make it ready. Similarly, inadequate IT infrastructure. This I talked about because the data and the technology maturity stem from this. Lack of sufficient data. See, you can do wonderful predictive analytics, but where is the data? You are not able to generate the data that feed into the engine. You cannot make sense of it. And lack of skilled professional who can make use of this data, right? So to me, these poorly defined metrics, inadequate IT and skilled professionals become the roadblocks. But once you assess the data and the technology maturity, you can embark on the journey. My only word of caution, sir, is be realistic about what benefits you can get. So that is something a business case has to be worked out for you. As a consultant, this is what I normally do for many companies. First thing is I go and say, it is possible or not. If it is possible, how long it will take. And when you realize it, what is the benefit likely to be? I hope this gives an idea.
Right. Thank you. And now it's open for the members to raise their questions one after the other to Mr. Swaminathan.
We'll start with our office bearers, sir, Mr. Pushpit and Captain Krishna.
Yeah, Mr. Pushpit. So before we get the other question, how about the data security and privacy? It's normally, the data security and privacy is an issue people wants to put into AI.
Yeah, it is. It is an issue. And you have to have, see, normally this comes under the function called GRC, Governance, Risk and Compliance. Usually you will see somebody designated as a chief risk officer or chief compliance officer. In small companies, all these roles are combined and called GRC. They have to be responsible for the cyber security, ethics, privacy related concern. That is why the amount of data, the type of data, what you collect also becomes important. They have to be labeled. For example, is it a personally identifiable field or not? All those questions come in. Somebody who is qualified only can do this type of. So this function has to start from the moment you collect the data, because you cannot see, it is like applying quality after the product is manufactured. Doesn't happen, right? The quality has to be built in. So the security has to start from the moment you generate the data. So such a person, such a skill you need. Okay, they can be called by different name, but small and medium-sized manufacturing organization, you need to have one person who focuses on that, and the person has to be proficient in the regulations latest. For example, today, 2 weeks back, European Union came out with the Digital Securities Act. This replaces the earlier GDPR. Okay.
Okay.
So lot of these latest regulation, because remember the regulation meaning, for example, you go to a website now, you have to take their consent to do the cookies, right? All those things happen. This is because of the regulation. So that equally applies to all your prospects and customers who are actually coming through digital channel with you.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So now we spoke about how we adapt the AI so that the persona is understood and we adapt our product to kind of make a better sales proposition and win the customer. Now, on the other side, the customer also must be having certain AI tools which give him a wide choice of companies like me, my product, wherein knowing his own persona and the capabilities and the reputation and the quality of various products, suggesting him what would be good for him. So that is an equally applicable counter AI from his side, which would also assist the customer. So here is a situation where we need to kind of overcome that and still be his proposal.
Very, very, very good question, sir. And that is spot on, because when you create a persona, you also assess how digitally literate the person is, what sort of devices and other tools he normally interacts with. That is actually essential step in the persona. So, for example, I have segmented the customer. One type of customer is like that. He has access to, let's say, a mobile device all the time. He is technologically reasonably literate. He is in a position to compare the similar services across companies, right? Now, there are other personas you can create to segment different type of customers. But remember, first thing is the customer does not need to have an AI tool to realize the benefits of your AI tool as a producer, right? What do I mean by that? You use AI tool, you derive insights, you come out with a specific recommendation to the customer. That recommendation reaches the customer by any of the digital channel, let's say mobile device or a tablet, which the person has access to. That's the only thing you need to ensure, correct? Now, that doesn't prevent the person. For example, I will tell you, before I buy a product, there are so many aggregator sites available. If I name the product, it will tell you, same thing like an airplane ticket. You go to a ticket, you go to a website called, let's say, Momondo. It tells you, if you buy the same ticket at this website, the cost is so much. If you buy the same thing at another website. So you have to assume today, the customers have broad access to comparison in terms of that. Huh?
Yes.
So two things. Customers, what products he uses to retrieve the information which you send as a company. He is how digitally literate he is able to do. And one more thing, Krishna sir, I want to tell you. AI cannot make a inferior product, superior product. Okay. Your product, and see, a lot of people think you give me AI, I will give a fantastic product. See, remember, the product has to meet its specification properly. Only then AI can help you to reach to unreached segments. AI can help you to increase the stickiness with the customer. Those are the things you have to, and converting more leads into customers. It cannot change the product fundamentally. But if you have not communicated about what the product can do to the customer, AI can bring out those things. AI can close the gaps in all those fronts.
And so over a period of time, the learning of the AI will sharpen and probably it becomes smarter and smarter with the information that comes in. Am I right?
Absolutely. That is a part of the learning model it incorporates, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the members?
Just to answer just to give you one more evidence to Krishna's question. In this slide, I have written what I have seen potential improvement, which is normally given by the tool vendors. What is actual improvement I have seen in real life? Okay. So always go with that. No, your feet have to be firmly on the ground. Do not adopt AI because some other company has adopted. adopt AI and check as a business case. Take it to your financial officer. I have a compelling case for introducing AI in sales. This is the benefit, and this is how I calculated the benefit. Get the approval like that. There's no other way.
Thank you.
So one more question, sir. And in terms of cost, what will be the cost for a mid-sized organization to transform themselves into an AI?
Okay. Now, this is a very, very vast question, sir. Because for this, I need to know what is their current level of, because current level of data and technological maturity, I need to know. Let me assume on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 5, 5 is a very, very highly mature organization. If I am assuming 3, you will have to look at, see, typically IT cost. See, I will go with the 2-3 metrics for you. Overall cost to the income. Okay, we are talking about 60 to 70%, right? Assuming you are making net profit of, let's say, 20%. Cost to income. Within this cost, you look at the IT cost. IT cost as an overall percentage of the cost. If you are operating at a level of maturity, we are talking about 50 to 60% of the overall cost attributable to IT. Now, within that, we are talking about 10% of the cost going towards AI investment if you are at a maturity level of 3 on a level of 5. If your maturity level is more, the amount of incremental investment you needed to realize further benefits will come down as a percentage. Yeah, I hope that gives an idea, an indicator.
Yes, it's proportional to the maturity of the
proportional
data.
On a maturity of 3, I would say 10% of your current IT cost have to go into AI to enable you. Yeah, that is why you need to assess it as a business case. Let's say you are currently operating, let's say 1 crore as IT cost, 10%, right? 1 lakh. Now, 10 lakhs. Now, what is the business benefit you are going to realize by doing it? You'll have to compare it with an incremental cost of 10 lakh. Only then you can take a call. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And if there is no questions, then we'll close the session. And my sincere request to all the members are, please send your feedback to the secretariat team, Mr. Chandan, so that it will be encouraging us to conduct similar kind of a session. And it will be helpful for us to refine ourselves and present you in much better. So if there is any questions, the speaker would like to take one more question. If not, then we'll conclude the session.
And sir, can I say a word before you conclude?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I want to really thank you for wonderful interacting with you. Unfortunately, I have more information than I can condense into the session. Okay. I have also a case study of how long the same question, what you asked, a company which is at a particular maturity, how long it takes. But nothing will happen overnight. Okay. That's one thing. Second, sir, I will share my LinkedIn ID and other thing with you. If anybody has a question, they can also reach out to me on the message. We'll be glad to give them an idea. Feel free. Thank you.
Certainly. And thank you very much, Mr. Swaminathan. And it is an exploring session for us. And it has given us many use cases. I hope that it will be helpful for the members in our region to get an overall idea of what AI, and probably they may come back to you with many questions through your LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Sure. Bye-bye, sir.
Thanks for the secretariat team for conducting this event. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Swaminathan. Thank you all.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.